Hi everyone! Today we're going to look at whether the Disneyland Paris meal plan was worth it. Welcome back to Mickey's Adventures. I am Mickey and today we're doing a little bit of a different video to what I would usually do. We're going to do more of a information planning video. So this is around the Disneyland Paris meal plan and whether or not that was worth it for us for our recent trip. Hopefully you will have seen the vlog series. If not, get yourself over to that playlist and have a watch. But I will go over the details of what we had and whether or not we think the cost was worth it for us in relation to doing the maths. First of all, though, we're going to look at the Disneyland Paris meal plan itself and what options there are. The Disneyland Paris meal plan has a number of different options. So you can see on the website, gives you all the reasons as to why you should have the Disney meal plan. But ultimately, realistically, let's be honest, it comes down to cost and whether or not you're going to save money by using the meal plan or by buying things individually. And I just do want to say up front, whether or not it's worth it for you will depend entirely on you and your family or your travelling party and what kind of things you like to eat. For us, we'll see, we'll do the maths and we'll get there at the end of it. So there are 3 different meal plans. There is breakfast only, which, you know, does what it says on the tin. It gives you breakfast in your hotel each morning. There is half board, which is the plan that we had, which gives you breakfast each morning in your hotel and then 1 full meal, a sit down meal every day. There is then the option of full board. Full board gives you your breakfast and a lunch and a dinner. Now we have only once had the full board back in, I want to say 2018, something like that, and it was too much food to have 3 full-on meals every day. Was just too much. So we prefer the half board and then we'll get a little snack at some point during the day for a lunch. Also, the meal plan cost will vary depending on the hotel that you're staying in. So your standard meal plan is available at the David Crockett or at Santa Fe Hotel. You have a choice of 35 restaurants for the standard meal plan if you're having half board or full board on the standard, and there is no differentiation between the standard and the plus as to what restaurants you can choose. The reason there's a difference in price and the reason that the standard and the plus is because of the breakfast offerings that you get if you're staying at David Crockett or Santa Fe. There's not as much choice as there is at the other hotels. You then have an option of the plus meal plan. The plus meal plan covers you if you're staying at the Hotel Cheyenne, Disney Sequoia Lodge, Disney's Newport Bay Club, Disney's Hotel New York, The Art of Marvel. So again, this one for your half board plus will be 35 table service restaurants, a breakfast and a lunch. Both the standard and the plus come in your half board, your full board, your breakfast option. Now, then we get onto the really expensive stuff. There is the extra plus. Now, this is available for all hotels if you want it, except for the Disneyland Hotel. So with the extra plus plan, you get your breakfast and your lunch and your dinner, and it also includes a meal with characters during the stay and also a snack and a drink every day as well as your meals. And on your last day, you will also get a lunch or a dinner depending on when you're leaving, whereas usually with the standard and the plus, you only get your breakfast on your last day. Then the premium plan. Now this is the one that is available if you're staying at the Disneyland Hotel. It's only available to Disneyland Hotel guests. And this gives you a 3 extra restaurants to choose from, and these are the restaurants that are within the Disneyland Hotel, I believe. And you get a breakfast, a lunch or a dinner every night, or for every night of your stay, including character dining. So that's a big plus on there. And again, the Disneyland Hotel breakfast offerings are, my understanding, having not stayed there, is that they're quite significantly different, and the restaurant is more upmarket. The extra plus is only available on full board. You can get the half board on the premium as well as the full board on the premium. When we booked our dining plan for January, we got the half board dining plan. It was the half board plus because we were staying at the Sequoia Lodge Hotel, and that for the 3 nights we were there cost £177 each. So a total of £354. So let's remember that for later when we come back to it and look at how much we actually spent across the trip. And to give you an idea, we're looking at going again in 2027, the same time of year that we went this year. So let's have a quick look at what that would be at the different hotels. I'm going to do it as hotel only, and I'm going to put in the exact dates that we're looking at going for next year. So early January to go for Ian's birthday, of course, 3 nights. This will pull up the information just so you can see the details should you wish. You can see the different costings of the actual hotels themselves. But you can see there, David Crockett and Hotel Santa Fe are at a lower price, and therefore makes sense with the standard booking. Now I'm going to look at Sequoia Lodge. This is where we like to stay. If you've watched the last vlog series, you will have seen that that's where we stayed in January. If not, if that's of interest to you, there is a room tour on there of where we stayed. Now if I go through this, standard room, and then it should allow me to look at the meal plans. So as you can see there, breakfast, half board, full board. If we were to go in and have a look at them, hopefully it should give us the costs. So your breakfast plan, $26.57 per adult. Your half board plan is at $57.58 per adult, and it gives you the details of the restaurants if you want to go into the details. And then if you go into the full board, is $101.88 per adult. The extra plus that we talked about that gives you that character dining takes that up to a cost of $132.87 per adult. So there's quite a difference there in those costs. Now, if I was to add on the half board, you will see that comes to a total of $345.48. And if we compare that to what we paid for January of 2026, we paid £354 for January 2026. So the half board is actually coming up at $345.48, which is cheaper than it was when we went this year. So that's not bad at all. Just to show you, if we were to look at a different hotel, if we were to choose the Santa Fe, which is in the standard meal plan, then we can have a look at how much that would cost. So your breakfast is at $19.49. Your half board is at $48.72, and your full board at $66.47. So the difference between the half board and the full board on the standard plan is quite significantly different. So if you were staying at the Santa Fe, if you do like your food, you did want more than one meal each, then it's not a bad uplift between the half board and the full board here at the Santa Fe. So hopefully that's given you a good idea of what's what in relation to how the dining plans work, or the meal plans work at Disneyland Paris. But you can go onto the Disneyland Paris website, have a play around, have a look at the different hotels, have a look at the different meal plans and work out things for you. Now, in relation to our trip itself, was the meal plan worth it for when we were there? So we stayed at Sequoia Lodge and we ate our breakfast there the 3 mornings we were there. The breakfast at Sequoia Lodge is €30 each. Looking at the exchange rate as it is today, €30 is £26 and 2p. So £26 for breakfast. So 3 of those, £78 is what it cost. And then moving on to the actual meals that we had. We ate at Sequoia Lodge at the Hunter's Grill the first night we were there. Now, we love this restaurant. It's a buffet restaurant, but it's so good. They have so many different options, and being a Hunter's themed restaurant, it carries a lot of meat. They have things like your salad stations, your meats and cheeses, soups. They had raclette when we were there. That was their winter speciality, and all kinds of different meat. And not just your standard things either. We had venison, we had wild boar, we had veal, all kinds of stuff. Really, really good. And then they had all the tiny Disney desserts like they usually did. So as I mentioned, Hunter's Grill at our hotel. The first night, we always like to eat at our hotel. It's just easier, it's simpler. We're usually tired. A full buffet, an all-you-can-eat buffet, and for your adults, that is €45. Now, if we translate that into pounds, that is £39 as of today's exchange rate. The next meal that we had was on Ian's birthday, and we went to Bistro Chez Remy. This is a table service restaurant that is in what is now World Adventure Park, and the meal was fantastic there. We loved all of the 3 courses. It's a prefix meal, and you get to choose 3 courses from the menu that they have available. All the food we had was absolutely delicious, and I would 100% recommend this restaurant if you're looking for somewhere to eat when you're in World Adventure. It's so themed. It's wonderful. Bistro Chez Remy, unsurprisingly, is a French restaurant. It is in the Paris section of Disneyland Paris of World Adventure, and it's next to the Ratatouille ride. This one has this set menu. There are 2 different set menus here. The Remy menu at €45 gives you a starter and a main course. Now, my understanding is that that is available to you on the standard meal plan, whereas on the plus meal plan is the meal menu at €55. You can upgrade that by €20 to get a wine flight, and you can see here it's got a little chef menu, which is your children's menu, and that one is €30. So €55 each for this meal. Absolutely would recommend it. €55 is coming out just under £48 So £48 we shall say for that meal. And then our third meal, we went to the downtown restaurant at the Hotel New York Art of Marvel. This is also a buffet restaurant, and this has food spanning the three main cuisines of New York. So it's Italian, it's Asian, and it's American. We weren't the biggest fan of this restaurant, which if you've seen our vlogs you will know. It's probably not somewhere that we're going to go again, if I'm completely honest. But it was definitely, I'm glad we went. I'm glad we got to see it. I'm glad we saw all the artwork inside the hotel, the Art of Marvel hotel. But the restaurant itself is quite small. It doesn't hold a lot of people, and therefore the reservations are really quite hard to come by. Let's have a look at the cost. Again, downtown is an all-you-can-eat buffet, and the menu for this one has a €55 cost. But the meal being €55, so again, that's exactly in line with what it was at Chez Remy, so £48. So that comes to, in pounds, a total of £213 for one person. Or for me, shall we say, because it was me. So that comes to £213 that the actual costs of the meals were when we went to Disneyland Paris in January. As I mentioned, we paid, when we booked, £177. So in regards to was it worth it for us? Yes, it was. We saved ourselves, depending on exchange rate of course, £36 each. So £72 for over 3 nights for 2 people is quite a big saving if you were buying out of pocket. Now, as I said earlier, worth is individual. If you don't like a full buffet breakfast, then the meal plan's probably not going to be worth it. But for us, absolutely. We love to be able to kind of fill up on that nice warm breakfast on a morning before we head out into the parks, and then we'll have an evening meal later. It means that we're good to just kind of snack as we go in the day, have a few little bits, and everything's great. I don't think we've ever been without the meal plan, because I did the maths right at the beginning when we first started going to Disneyland Paris, and I think we worked out even then that it was definitely the way to go. Now, if you want to have the full board, I've mentioned before, it's a lot of food. A lot of the restaurants are all-you-can-eat buffets, like I've mentioned with the Hunter's Grill and the downtown restaurant. It's a lot of food to eat your all-you-can-eat breakfast, an all-you-can-eat lunch, and an all-you-can-eat dinner. Even if you were to have a table service in there for lunch or dinner, it's so much food. So it probably would work out worth it in regards to the cost, but you're also using up park time to sit and have a full meal in the middle of the day, which for us is something that we want to do. So in answer to that question, was the Disneyland Paris meal plan worth it for us? Yes, we saved 72 quid by doing the meal plan in the trip that we went on. We're going to be booking, as I mentioned, for January 2027. Looking at the cost and the fact that the meal plan's actually coming out cheaper than it was for this year, once the ferries go on sale, we will be snapping that up and we will be getting the meal plan again. So it's a big thumbs up from me in regards to the meal plan. I hope you found that useful. I hope if you're planning your trip to Disneyland Paris, this is something that you'll take into consideration. If you've got any questions about the meal plan, about any of the restaurants, please put that in the comments below. I will answer anything as best as I can. I do not claim to be an expert. I am not a travel agent. I am not affiliated or anything like that. I have been to Disneyland Paris 9 times now. So I've eaten at quite a few of the restaurants. We have had the meal plan. Again, not an expert, but I can give you my opinion and my experience. So if you do have any questions, please let me know. But in the meantime, I just want to say thank you so much for watching. If you've liked the video, please give it a big thumbs up. Click that notification bell so that you know when any videos drop. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And just once again, thank you so much for watching. I just really appreciate anybody who watches. And I'll see you next time. Bye bye.